Yo, what's up, everyone? You are tuning in to the 50 States podcast. I'm with my boy, Michael. We met in the Army. Michael, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name's Michael B. I met Joe Rod over here in Germany. We served together for a little over 2.5 years, 2 years. In the military, he was actually one of the first dudes I met when I first walked up into our unit, and we had a lot of fun time together, and a lot of back and forth pranks, and just overall a great time.
Bro, that was the thing with you. You were always pranking people. You were always pranking me. You took my hat, bro. So I used to collect hats from every country that I would travel to. One day when I got back home from the Army, I'm going through all my hats, and then I'm like, wait, one of them's missing. It was a Paris one. This fool had it. He took it from me. I didn't even know.
This was when we were hardcore in a deep prank war.
Yeah.
And we were both messing with each other. I remember, I think what got me to take the hat was when you sprayed me with the WD-40.
Oh,
when
I remember
opened your door. Yes. Because I remember you missed. I just got a brand new Alpha Elite jacket, and it stained it.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was like, damn it, dude, I gotta take a piece of his clothing back. So one day he was roommates with one of my buddies, Vital. Maybe you'll run into Vital on the podcast. Anyways, me and Vital were always messing with this dude because he's his roommate. So anytime he was there, we would be messing with his door, trying to get in, or we'd hear him doing stuff, and we would you could get into other people's rooms, kind of just by bypassing the lock, if that makes sense. And anyways, one day he was out and about, I guess, and I went in. I was looking for something to take. He has a whole rack of hats, like he said, on the wall, and I'm like, I'm gonna take this one. Took it. That was 5 years ago. This is the first time we've seen each other since. This is the first time, we've seen each other since then. But like I said, I held on to that hat for a little over 4.5, 5 years. But I did make sure to hold on to it and not lose it. And I've been a lot of places recently. I didn't lose it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I found it at the exact same shape that I left it on. So right now that you mentioned that we had this prank war going on, were you like that as a child? Did you used to prank people or stuff like that?
I guess so. I've always just been very lighthearted. I'm a very lighthearted person, and I'm always just somewhat messing with people. And then like you said, I guess I just kind of carried it on. And that's just something that to pass the time, as long as it's not super, super serious, There was one serious prank that I did. I'm not too sure if you remember this. So we have a buddy named Anderson, and Anderson, which had just been pissing me off, being annoying recently. So I was like, all right, bro, this dude's time's up for a prank. He's due one. Anyways, I ended up ordering a tire locking mount, a wheel lock.
I remember that.
Basically, you would get at a tow yard, right? So I put this lock on this dude's car. He doesn't know this. And in the barracks, you can see the parking lot. You can see into the car, and you can see all the parking lots. And they're very loud. This group of people is very loud. And we always have our windows open because you have no AC in Germany. And anyways, I hear Anderson and the group of the homies walking to go to the gym. I peek out my window, and he forgot something. He ends up turning around, and I'm like, oh, crap. He's not going to see it. Our buddy Fry, he gives the keys to our buddy Fry. Our buddy Fry somehow gets in the car and doesn't see the bright yellow and red wheel lock. And I'm like, it didn't register me. I'm like, oh, my God, he's about to try to drive off with the car. And sure enough, he puts it in reverse. Thank God it didn't damage the car. Anderson, I don't know if you know this. He puts it in reverse. And you hear the car rev up, and then he eventually gets traction, and you hear do-do-do. And the whole wheel lock went through the wheel well and then back into the bottom. And then Fry gets out the car, and he's like, what the hell? And this whole time in my barracks room, like I said, I'm maybe 50 meters away, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to pay to repair this dude's car because I thought it messed up the wheel well or something of that nature. Luckily, it didn't. But Fry calls Anderson, and he's like, yo, bro, I can hear him. Like I said, you could hear in the barracks. He's like, yo, bro, I think Michael just put a wheel lock on your car. And literally, it's so funny because I'm upstairs, like I said. I'm in Vital's room at this time now. And I hear Anderson. He's like, what the hell? What the fuck? And this dude just literally starts sprinting to the barracks and to come find me and beat me up, whatever. And anyways, luckily I was smart. I didn't go to my room, but it was also a bad thing that I wasn't in my room. because we had this master key that you can just get into any of the rooms. He asked for the master key, goes into my room and flips literally my bed, puts my dresser on the floor, flips my desk. He flips, literally turns over everything in my room. Like my room's messed up, everything's flipped, everything's on the ground. And I didn't know this. I just heard him yelling, and I could hear him like banging on my door down the hallway. And like I said, after I left the tallest room, I go in there and I'm like, oh, dude, this dude flipped all my stuff.
Dude.
I was like, oh man, that was one thing. The master key was like one final trump card.
You put the boot on my car too.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You did, but I told you I was gonna break it. I was gonna drive off with it,
Oh.
and you're like, no, you got your key. You had your key with you.
Oh, I did, yeah.
You unlocked it. I was about to drive with it on purpose. I was like,
Oh,
if I fuck up my car.
That's right. I think you're like, if I fuck up my car, it's gonna be on you. And I was like, okay, I'll take it off.
What made you sign up to the army?
So what made me sign up to the army it was obviously like we all grew up, or our age grew up in like the post 9/11 generation, and I literally like wanted to join to go do bad things to bad people. That was my thing. Unfortunately, we didn't really get actual combat deployments, but I would still do it over and over again. Like it was a great time. My 3.5 years in the army was great, and yeah, even though like a lot of us, like I said, a lot of these people who did join during that time frame did infantry, especially because we were infantry. You know, we joined literally to go and fight wars, and unfortunately, like that stuff never happened. And then I even thought about, like you said, I was in Germany when Ukraine happened, and I was like ready. Like we got news.
This is it. This is your time.
This is it. I'm like, this is my time, and I'm like, all right. As soon as like my buddies, like I said, still in Germany, they got stationed or they got deployed to Bulgaria and Romania. And I'm like, all right, as soon as they get in contact or as soon as they like send them over the border through Poland or to Russia, like I'm literally gonna go talk to a recruiter and get re-upped and rejoin while I can. And guess good and bad thing we didn't join Ukraine, because obviously that war is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the new generation warfare with drones and stuff, it's just like hell, and it's war is definitely hell. And that would have been kind of crazy, you know, dealing with drones and stuff when we're versed in just regular like man-on-man type stuff.
Mm-hmm. What was something that you were trying to accomplish in the army?
So my main thing in the army, like I said, was mainly the networking. Number two, I did want to go, originally when I first joined, I wanted to go to selection, which is SF, Special Forces. And once I got into the army and I just kind of saw how things were a little bit different than what I thought they were, and I would talk to some people who were in SF, and they were like, yeah, bro, I'll be honest, like some of that stuff does transfer over. And then SF2 is a long contract. You have to do 6 years minimum once you pass selection. And I was just like, man, 6 + 3, or at that time, I think I'd already been in for a year. I was just like 7 years. That's like a lot of time. And I'd like to, like, I've already experienced the army. If you fail selection, then you're still acquired for those 6 years in the army. So that was like the main thing. And then the other thing was I did want to go to, at first I didn't want to go to Ranger School, but once I like kind of passed off selection, I was like, let me at least go to Ranger School. And that was interesting. I went to Ranger School right like when COVID was kind of lifting up, and that was an experience just being over there. Unfortunately, I didn't make it through, but Ranger School was just something. In fact, I always say it too. I'm like, if I ever join the Guard, or like if we do get back into a war and then join back up, like Ranger School is going to be one of my first things that I want to go back and go do, because it's Ranger School is a premier leadership school for the Army, and it gets a lot of dogs. It gets dogged on by a lot of people because there's 75th Rangers, which are actual like real, we'll call them like Special Forces type people. They're in the Special Forces branch. And you have Ranger Tab people, which are two different things, you know. One was literally bred and taught how to be a leader in like the worst conditions possible. No sleep, no food, no water, freaking 160-pound ruck on your back. And you do that for months, you know. And then you have Ranger Bat, which is people that are more bred to, hey, be hardcore, physically and mentally fit, and like go and kill people. And those two things, a lot of people dog on Ranger Tab dudes, and at the end of the day, most of those dudes don't have their tab, which is kind of funny. And they'll literally be in 75th, but they don't even have their Ranger tab, which is why I think they dog on it, because they'll go to get their tab, and like I said, the tab, I thought the tab was exactly just like regular 75th, where it's like, hey, you're mentally fit, and you make it through. You get there, and just like FYI for anyone wanting to go to Ranger School, it's not that. Yes, you have to be physically and mentally fit, but you also have to know how to lead a patrol, how to do a counter ambush, how to do an ambush, how to set up all that stuff. And that's actually what they grade you on, is those things. It's just like EIB, where they're literally going down a checklist and making sure you do everything for leading that patrol.
I was really excited when 'cause I wanted to go. So when Martinez sent me, and I honestly didn't think I was even gonna pass pre-ranger. But when I did pass pre-ranger, I was like, "This is it! Like I'm gonna go get my tab." I know what you're saying, but still,
Yeah.
like still having the tab, you know.
Yep,
I
yeah.
was like, I'm gonna go to ranger. I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna come back with big ass balls and shit.
Yep.
I went to go celebrate for passing pre-ranger, and then I got a DUI. Got ranger school taken away from me. That's me being an idiot.
Anyone out there, you're in the army, you're thinking of joining the army, and like you have that thought of like, hey, I want to go to ranger school. Like, do it, do the packet, freaking do pre-ranger. Like, go and do stuff while you're in the army too. I tell people this a lot. I talk to a lot of people in the lower branches. I don't know, and I'm sure you do too. It seems like the army to me has the most opportunities for regular soldiers to go and do stuff, whatever that may be.
Yeah, it does open a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm currently working in the film industry, and I work with a lot of veterans who are camera operators, directors, writers, screenwriters, producers, and their work ethic is just to the max.
Yep.
Because it comes from their military background.
Yeah.
So I love working with them. So after the military, what did you pursue after?
So after the military, I had already been in the car detailing industry for a couple years, and actually I was in the army. I was also literally doing car detailing at that time.
He's really good. He used to detail my vehicle, would leave it spotless. One time I scratched it.
Yeah.
Remember, I scratched it.
Yeah.
I hit a pole or something, and
he thought the car was he thought it was like actually scratched, not just in the industry would call it paint transfer. But it was like the whole it was a driver's side too. Yeah, it was a whole driver's side thing back door, which is we'll call it scratch just for easy things. Scratch in like a 2x2 section where he had rubbed against He had rubbed against a pole or something.
One of those mini poles on the road. I don't know what the hell they are.
And he was like, "Damn, dude, my car's cooked." And he didn't even ask me if I could fix it. I think I just saw it. And I'm like, no, dude, I think I can fix that.
Yeah.
And he was doubtful. He was like, "No way, dude." Like,
it looks
repaint. And,
it looks scratched. You can't fix it, but
and sure enough, after like 2 hours of work, I had it all fixed up for him and everything. And yeah.
No, he did a great job. It was gone. I couldn't even see it.
Yep. Yeah. It like literally disappeared if it's like not too deep. So I ended up inventing a device for detailers. Like I said, I've been in the industry for over 8 years. I ended up inventing a device for detailers that basically holds the pressure washer tips that we use, at least as professional detailers, to your pressure washer gun without any tape, screws, or bullshit. So now I produce those and I sell those online. I've shipped to many countries. I think some of the two that stand out to me was I've shipped two to Israel, which is crazy because it's like, if you realize like Israel, I didn't even think detailing's a thing in Israel.
Well, all the same.
Yeah. And then also one of the other cool countries I guess because I have a fascination with Australia. I ship a lot of those tip holders to Australia, which is really cool because, like I said, I've always wanted to go there. And I didn't know that I knew that like the USA has a big detailing industry, especially like how do I say this? Like small business owners. It seems like detailing is like literally the next big and best thing to do for any kid that's like hungry for money and hungry to make a name for himself. Like you'll see literally dudes that are like, I've seen 12-year-olds who's this kid who literally has a bike. He has a trailer that he tows on a bike that holds his pressure washer, his chemicals, and he'll literally go hustling, riding his bike 2, 3 miles, 4 miles to the customers in his neighborhood, and taking all of it on the bike in the little trailer and going up. And
I'll make sure to tag the link of his product that he invented so you guys can check it out. If you guys are doing detailing, make sure to click the link on that.
Yes, detailing, pressure washing is applicable to like anything pressure washing and detailing. Detailing is the industry, and like I said, anything pressure washing.
After the detailing, is there something else you want to pursue after that?
Yeah, so my next like big thing that I've already like started learning about and that I've taken interest in, like dead set I want to do it, is getting into real estate rentals, specifically multifamily real estate, and then maybe down the line commercial real estate, which is really cool. But that's really cool because as veterans, we have this 0% VA home loan that you can go and buy a home for literally 0% down, which is crazy because most people, obviously, they have to either do the 20% if you want to avoid PMI, or if you're a first-time home buyer, you can do the 3.5%. But as we all know, 3.5% of, let's say, the average cost in America is like a $300,000 house. That's still $9,000 you have to come out with, And
Shit,
then
when
you
I'm
sell
ready to
housing
buy, bro, I'm
costs.
gonna hit you up.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah. Like I
put me
said,
on game because I don't know how
I've
none of
learned
that
all
works.
this process, and but yeah, and then also too
Because there's a lot of loopholes and stuff, right?
yeah, like I said, there's a lot of loopholes, especially once you have your first one and you go and you sell it and you buy your second one. There's a lot of ways that's completely legal. You know, like the smart people with their money do this to avoid paying taxes. You go and you sell the home, you buy a new home, you were able to 1031 and buy a new home within 31 days, and you pay zero taxes, and you can keep all that profit, and then you just live in your new home. And like I said, completely legal, completely allowed to make that money and pay zero taxes. It's one of the few ways. Real estate is one of the very, very few ways, other than owning a business, that you can pay zero taxes on stuff. So yeah, that's like my next thing. And then too, like I said, the fulfillment part of it is I see it. The company I learned from and everything, they just say providing a quality house and quality living at a quality price.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like a big thing for me is like I don't just want to be, they'll call them like slumlord millionaires, where like you have tenants, you don't take care of the property. If they have a problem, you don't take care of it. If like, something's broken, you don't take care of it. To me, that's not me. That's not what I want to do. Like I want to truly provide quality living that people are very happy to call their home and to call their room and to call their apartment, whatever it may be, and be glad at the end of the day that like they're literally coming home to a place that's well furnished, well taken care of, and that they know that if there's an issue on the property or something, that it's going to get taken care of.
That's about us, yeah.
Yep, yeah, and like that's because I feel like that stems over for the military of just like that higher standard. And that's exactly like what my next move will hopefully be. So yeah.
Fuck yeah, bro. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where that takes you. When I first met you, you were already a pretty stocky dude. Like you're already built. Like, did that start from high school? Was that after high school? Were you doing that for the military? Because when you showed up, you're already built.
Yep, yeah. So
What
like
was your
going into
journey
the
like?
military, like I said, I like to prepare for stuff when I can. I like a big pet peeve of mine is like when people have the opportunity to prepare for something and they don't. So like one thing in the military, they would always give us packing lists, right? And you look at the packing list, you're like, dude, there's all this crap on here. But like if the person who put the packing list together is very smart, and they put that together because they've looked at the weather, they've looked at the climate, they've looked at that stuff. So going back on just like being prepared, like you said, once I knew I was going to join the military, at that time I was already working out. Working out has always been a big thing for me. Like I do it literally daily now. A year and a half ago when I wasn't too busy, I was literally going twice a day. Some days literally 3 times a day.
Jesus.
Just to go.
I tried the two times a day, but 3 times a day? No.
No, yeah. And then I ran cross country in high school, and at that time, that's when I started working out. I still wanted to have fun, and like some days I would literally go run 10, 12 miles in the morning.
Yeah.
Come home, let's say this is the weekend. We always had practice on Saturdays. Go bike or go do something outdoorsy. Whether that's hiking 10 miles or biking 10 miles, go that again. Then nighttime comes. I'm a nighttime gym guy. Nighttime comes and at the gym, so that's already 3 times, you know.
I used to be a nighttime gym guy, but it's always packed.
Yep,
Everyone's there. Well, I don't know how your gym is, but my gym it's packed.
packed.
But in the
Yep,
morning, empty.
Empty.
So I switched my schedule. I had to wake up extra early and go
Believe
do
it
it in the
or not,
morning.
here, these people are so crazy here. I think it's just because all these people are pretty busy. One time I was going at 5 a.m., dude, and I've been to three separate gyms. All 3 on the dot. Some of them open at 4. I've been there on the dot at 4 when they open, and there's literally, I kid you not, a line of people, at these at least in San Antonio, waiting to get in the gym as soon as they open. And I'm like, dang, these people are like dedicated to like be out here. Literally, and like they're literally waiting outside at 3:59 for them to unlock the door and they can go in. Yeah.
Dude.
The bad thing with me, that's when I could literally work out 4 times a day. You know, I could go, I could literally work out in the morning.
Yeah.
I get off work early, and I don't like to work out like after eating. So if I hadn't eaten anything after work, then I would go to the gym immediately. Like we'll say like busy time, like 3 p.m. You know, if you get off work early, go home and freaking eat, go do something, and then go back to the gym again at nighttime. And like that's how I was like, shoot, I can't do this morning thing, or else I'm freaking there all day.
Now, some people who are new to working out, there's this stigma that the more you eat, the bigger you'll get. You're very knowledgeable on nutrition and on weightlifting. Do you have what do you think it's the most common error that a lot of people make at the gym
I'll say
or
this,
in their fitness life?
You like just in life, and not just fitness. But I will say you can't have something without nothing. So like he was saying, the nutrition part of it, you can work out, but I'm also like in the role of what they call the compound effect, which is basically like every little thing that you do, eventually long term adds up to 100% and adds up to something. So like just because you're in their gym working out and lifting heavy, if you're not doing your nutrition part and doing that nutrition part the same way, because people go in the gym and they'll track, oh, I can do 315.
Mm-hmm.
They go home and they're not tracking, oh, I can eat 200 grams of protein,
Mm-hmm.
you know? They're just eating and they think, I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, especially when they're new and they're skinny, I made it too. You think you increase your calories, but at the end of the day, you maybe increased it by like 250, 500 calories. And that's only on the days that you did that. If you miss one day, then you're just down for that day as well. And I think a lot of people, like I said, you're tracking, oh, I can bench 315, I can squat 225,
Mm-hmm.
I can deadlift 475. And then they go home and they're not tracking any of that. They're just eating, oh, I ate 4 meals a day. And it's like, that's pretty general. That's like saying, oh, I went and I lifted.
Mm-hmm.
What did you lift? How much did you lift? Like, so I think that's a big misconception. I tell a lot of people, one of my buddies is joining the army right now, and he's like, yeah, I'm eating a lot, dude, but I just feel like I'm still not putting on muscle. And I'm like, are you tracking it? Are you like, literally, back in the day, I used to be really skinny. I used to weigh like 110 pounds when I was running cross country in high school. When you saw me in the army, I'd actually put on a lot of weight within that past like 1 or 2 years.
Okay. I know you try to get me into making me count my calories and
Yep,
stuff.
yeah, no,
I had that little book,
Yeah,
but
I
I
have
was
notebooks literally of just like every day I would just literally track.
I gave up on it, bro.
Yeah,
I
it's a lot of work, like I
it
said.
is a lot of work.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep track of everything I'm
Yep,
eating,
yeah.
or I would forget, and then I'm over here trying to remember what I
Yeah,
ate.
that's why I would always do it literally like as I'm eating right there. I'd have that notebook and do it. But yeah, he's the same thing. He's like, oh, I feel like I'm like not gaining strength, and like my weight is still the same, like nothing's changing. I'm like, well, are you tracking it? Well, I eat 5 times a day now. I mean, like they're big meals. I'm like, how do you know how many calories you're hitting? And for most people, at least the minimum big thing they have to track is protein. If you want to go really simple, they say like at least 1 gram of protein for every gram of body weight that you want to be. So you want to be 200 pounds, you got to at least eat 200 grams of protein. And then I feel like a lot of big things too. A lot of people like the protein shakes and stuff, but I'm a very big believer in like, yes, they're good to supplement, but I'm a big believer in like 90% of your calories should come from real food that you're like digesting.
I think that's probably what I fucked up in is I was too stuck on the protein shakes.
Yep. Yeah.
And I feel like that's where my gut kind of came from,
Yeah.
or the love handles. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since I've known you, I've always noticed that you're very knowledgeable about like finances, health and wellness, real estate. Like, where does all that drive come from learning?
I guess as a kid, like I literally remember I was a kid who like I didn't have a gym membership, and my parents didn't have a gym membership, so I was always the kid that like if there was something I can improve on. Back then, I didn't have any money because I was just get like chore money and all the thing. Well, I guess I did because we'll come back to that. Anyways, I was a kid, like I was like 6, 7 years old, doing push-ups and sit-ups in my room with the lights off, quiet, so that my parents can't hear me. You know, I was like, shit, I'm trying to get better. You know. And then once I like started maturing, I would say around like 12 or 13, I got very big into just like motivational speakers, motivational videos.
Oh, it started at 12.
I would say like 8th grade, 9th grade, like around that age, which I think is like 12. And I was just very big on like, no, like what's the point? Like at the time I was like really wanted to run a business or run something equivalent to a business. Basically either run a business or be self-managed. And in high school, that's when I started getting an interest in like mechanical engineering, because there's a lot of things you can do that. And to me, a business degree, I knew exactly how to run a business already because I'd already been doing it. So to me, a business degree wasn't that important to me. I just didn't see the value of it. And I was like, if I get a mechanical engineering degree, then I can apply that to going and doing something involving, because mechanical engineering at the end of the day is you're just creating stuff and you're figuring out solutions to problems, right? For any engineer, not just mechanical engineer, but for any engineer, you're just finding out solutions to problems. And that's exactly what my business does now. Is I figured out a solution to a problem. I've already launched product number 2, and then I'm just going to I have to stay in the industry and keep figuring out solutions to problems that we have. And
that's badass. I saw you working in your room on your product. How the setup that you were doing, the process that you were doing to ship it to one of your clients. I had to record that moment. You know, it's it's awesome seeing someone in that moment because you already know, because I know where you're gonna be in 5-10 years from now.
Yeah.
Because of the mind that you have.
Yeah, and that was a big thing too. Like I think nowadays we're really blessed. Like YouTube and Google can literally answer any question you have, and if you have a cell phone,
now AI.
Yeah, AI.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, you can make it work. I have no computer, and I can literally, if I travel, when I do travel within the United States, I need to ship something. I can ship. I take everything, and it fits within. I take a shoebox, and I just put that in my carry-on, or I put it in my main luggage. And I have like my little label printer. I have my products. I have my little note cards, my stickers, and basically everything I need to pack about 30 packages. So if I'm gone for like 14 days, I can fulfill 30 orders before I kind of need to come back and resupply or figure out a solution.
I do notice a mark on your hand.
This guy knows.
It was an interesting mark that I see there.
You want to tell him that? Or you want me to tell him that?
I want to know from you. I don't know what it is.
No, you really don't know. Anyways, there's just like little, we'll call it initiation, I guess, in our platoon, and it's like my first 2 or 3 weeks there, and they're like, hey, Michael, like, we know, like, you seem like a really cool guy, you're part of platoon now, we're all drinking and stuff, and they're like, we want to initiate you, and I'm like, oh, great, here we go. I'm like, let me hear what it is, and like, if it's not too bad, I'll do it. Wasn't supposed to be too bad, so anyways, they're like, oh, you get a cigarette, and one of us is gonna like light it, and then we're gonna put it out on your hand, and like take, and like you said you're supposed to take a hit. I thought you just like relight it again. Anyways, you're all supposed to do it in like one little, like it's supposed to be the size of a cigarette, and mine's about the size of.
I have it right here,
and it's not supposed to be too bad. This dude's a little inebriated and intoxicated. He's the one doing it. Other thing is, it's supposed to be on the right hand, so when you shake hands with your right hand, when you guys clasp, you would see it. Mine's not on my right hand. It's on my left hand. This dude's the one doing it. Like I said, he comes down, and it's supposed to be one cigarette that you put out 3 times, or you just push it against the skin 3 times, like I said. He relights it and gets it fully glowing red every time. Then because of that, it's supposed to be one little circle. Mine's maybe about the size of a nickel because he was inebriated and drunk and freaking kept missing. So I have 3 little things, and a lot of people always ask about that. And I always just tell them, it was like I was trapped by the Russians. I got captured. They were drilling through my hand, and then that's when I was able to like get the key out of my sock, and I broke free and I ran out of there and through the Siberian forest, and it was a crazy time.
That was a better story than what really happened.
yeah, that's what I tell people. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I got branded by my homie. Yes, so I was fucked up. I was drunk. I set the instructions wrong. So you're supposed to put the cigarette on the hand and then just take 3 hits, but you keep the cigarette there. I was fucked up drunk. I took a hit on his hand, and then I relit the cigarette. I did it again, and then I relit the cigarette, and I missed the exact spot. You're supposed to hit the exact spot. I don't know what I did over there, but yeah, it looks like a gun wound now. What's up with you and your love life right now?
My love life.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I first got out of the Army, it was just like a transition. It was rough. I was maybe not homeless, but I was close to, where I was living in like the bad apartments and stuff like that. And so I'm just like one of those people. I'm like, I thought about it, and I was like, man, in fact, there's this really, really beautiful girl at the gym, and I was like, man, I would love to approach her, but I'm not at that point in my life right now. Luckily now I'm getting to that point, so now that's the thing. But yeah, I've never prioritized. I know dudes that literally, not just dudes, but girls too, they have to have a girlfriend or boyfriend constantly, and yeah, it's nice, but I'm not one of those people. I don't know. I grew up as a single child, so I'm very self-sufficient. And, I don't need that extra, I guess, person and energy next to me all the time. It's nice, but if not.
And it looks like you're comfortable just being on your own, chilling.
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of people are like, dude, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't know. I just do it.
Yeah, and you said
I have more priorities, I guess. Like I said, financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, all that stuff. That's I think if you're gonna my thing too is like, I think if you're gonna date someone, you want to like offer your best self to that person so that you can offer the best experience versus like, oh, I think a lot of people just like they're space feeling, they're going and like they get out of a relationship and they go and they space feel with another girlfriend, boyfriend without fixing the qualities that broke up their prior relationship, which to me is like disrespectful and it's a big cycle, you're just gonna
Right.
keep going and yeah.
Well, I do want to say, Michael, thank you so much for taking the time to have this podcast with me. Right now I'm doing the 50 States project where I go around the country interviewing people. So thank you for taking your time out of your day to meet up with me on this. And that concludes our podcast. Deuce.